All right, y'all, let's get into the 2020 vision and the government shutdown today, the day before the winter solstice, which is when the sun hangs on the Southern Cross for 3 days. And it starts at 4:21 a.m. and this connects us to 4:20:25 Easter, and it also connects us to that 24 clock on the counterclockwise as we're going from a spiritual to a carnal and a carnal to a spiritual. And that 2024 is a clock for that first day on a carnal and a spirit. So we're going into a 48-second day, and as the garden has been set and shown dark and scary eyes and things glowing in the sky and all this stuff, you have another garden up in the Dakotas, and then you have a Yellowstone that's been rumbling, and we had the Maui fire. That's when the diamond setting started being polished up for that ring of fire, and the eclipse and all those things. So let's get into this double cross over America as it's being set up. And the 2025 is that Christmas spirit year, and the 23 on 9/11 overlaps, and the 24 anniversary, which is the 24 clock on 9/11, and you have the 29/11 now with the 45 and 47, the dawn of time, just last week on the 12/12, and tomorrow the winter solstice is the 12/21, the mirror on that. And he came out with his transformation in the holy place, the golf club, and that's also the club, the thief in the night, and the white shark. So let's tie these things together, folks, because we are at these times that has been a long wait, and connecting all these things since been given to me since 2020. And I started doing the videos in 2021, and I did my first video, and then they started talking about the critical race 2 days later in my state that I lived at the time, which was Oklahoma. And the things that I was shown in Oklahoma through the spirit and through dreams and visions and such led us from Wyoming, which felt good the first time, but there was red dirt around there, and something told me that red dirt came from a lot of blood. So we didn't want to stay there necessarily, but the energy was good in one way. And then we went back there a second time months later to like the Cody area, and the energy was bad. And that's when we had the camper, and we got the first day or two, whatever, we got freezed out in the camper, and then we decided to get out of there, and then a blizzard came. So either way, it was that 6 months it was like I was propelled into a movie. Okay, that's the best I can explain it. And basically I was, as I guess the veil was lifting up, I saw keys per se, and I played with them. So I took these keys that I was given, and I toggled these locks per se, and I've unlocked these things in our realities that have opened up a matrix to me that has given me a legend to look down and to look at what I'm looking at, or what in the present, and be able to look into the future in a way. Okay, so the 24 clock 2024 to the 24 on the 9/11, and then that carries over into the 26 because of the way the carryovers on the anniversaries and such. So the 89 this year carries over this way, but you also have the 8 days that carries over. So you have an 89 back sequence. Okay, so this is where we're going back into a time tunnel and back, or whatever, to where the part 1s and 2s and 3s that I've talked about, and the going into the wild times and whatever, that's where we're at. So so then the 26 is going to be your alphabet and the A to Z and all these things. So if we're going to see how these things unfold real quick, but from this Christmas 2024 and this winter solstice to the 2025 one is basically like that Christmas package being given or whatever, okay? And then then the furthest and longest distance on these things would be like for the little Rocket Man or whatever kind of thing would be like next Christmas or whatever. But it depends on how they play this card game, because I know they're shuffling things back and forth and whatever, depending on what pieces get moved out on the table as far as professing, okay? Because you got some people like me who's the profess ear X on one aspect, and we're being placed in this cerebral, this net, and we have access to all these information where we can go in and see things, okay? So these things were shown, like Blessed Art Thou or whatever, the artist, and the movies and all these things portray the visible explains the invisible. We just have to be able to access the keys and unlock the doors to understand these things. But these out here, these begotten sons that shine bright, they take these keys away, okay? So the things that's being shown now with La Palma, okay? La Palma is talking about a quake and a rock breaking off and causing a tidal wave, all right? The Madrid fault line or Yellowstone or one of these volcanoes on the west coast or Alaska, whatever, okay? One goes and the other causes a chain reaction, or however it all works out. But that's where you can see parts of California or Oregon or whatever falling into the ocean and causing a tidal wave. Or you might have the Wanda Fuca serve up some plates for the Last Supper, and then that carries on and opens up the Yellowstone or Madrid, and that carries forth. And that light that I was shown, the things that I was shown of the past, are saying things that are coming to the future, okay? And I was basically given the way I see it in the dreams and visions of when I was traveling through Oklahoma and Kansas and looking up at the sky, and man, there's things in the sky that just, okay, and similar to what we got now, and similar to what we've seen in Ukraine, all these things that can be unfolding before our eyes. And as we go into that Christmas spirit and this nail in the coffin for the 2024 time frame, and the morning star rises in different ways, and that the childbirth comes, and this childbirth creates a twin, and there's one and then the other, and these are just culled into this physical garden, and that's the garden where you're in that Orwellian 1984 atmosphere, and your friends are telling on you, and we see all these things lining up now, okay? So the Nazarus is coming, and that certified diamond is being shined up in different ways. So the things I'm telling you, we can see from one to another how they're collapsing into each other, and how this Christmas is setting up to where if it's not this Christmas, we can see the lights in the sky, to where, hey, it's on, like, because we know the second stage is setting, and all these things are matching to where it should be clicking in your head, okay? If it doesn't click in your head, you need to DM me or email me or something or whatever, okay? Because I will make you understand, all right? If you don't understand, that's your problem, okay? And your pastors, they don't want to hear it. As these things go off, in Madrid, or the bomb in the nation, or the volcano, or whatever, however it all works out that gets those people moving. Okay, it's all being worked where you're being worked in this area. You're being worked either physically or spiritually. And this whole area can be your whole nation of America, as far as that Truman Show world stage production Shakespearean experience. Okay, so those who are all under the spell of the scripture of the Bible, all right, that Baal worship where everybody's a sheriff and a deputy and all this other garbage they're announcing, and you got